Ladies and gentlemen, let's move on to our last panel, which is on the subject of the future of contact centers, AI, and cost-efficient infrastructure. I would like to request our panelists to kindly join us on the stage. May I request Ms. Vibha Sarin Prabhakar, Chief Experience Officer from Shriram Automall. Ms. Vibha Sarin Prabhakar, may I request you to kindly join us? I would also like to request Mr. Vivek Madan, CTO and Operations, Hero Housing Finance. Mr. Vivek Madan. I would like to request Mr. Gagandeep Singh, SVP and Head CX, Niva Bupa Health Insurance. Requesting the panelists to kindly join us on the stage, please. Next we have is Mr. B. Venkatasubramanian, DGM IT City Union Bank. Mr. Rinku Anand, Head CX Bajaj Finserv. Mr. Sandeep Malhotra, Chief Strategy Solutions and AI Officer, Digitide. Requesting Mr. Sandeep Sachdeva from Snapdeal. He is heading the customer, seller, and experience. I would now like to request May I request Vibhu Gaur from Hero Housing Finance to kindly join us on the stage. I would like to request our moderator of the session, Ms. Meetu Arora, Vice President Customer Care from Sleepwell Group, to please join us. I would like to request our panelists and moderator to kindly take their seats. Let's welcome our panel here with a huge round of applause, everyone. I would like to request Meetu ma'am to kindly take the session forward.
Thank you for inviting all of us, and very warm welcome to all of you. I'm really excited to have this conversation with all of you. And to start with, just to warm up, I know this is almost the last session of the day. So let's start with something light. I'll just ask very quick questions to you and expect very witty, few words answers from you, and let's get the audience engaged in that activity as well. So starting with you, Vibha, if we were in 2030 and when we reflect back, what would you find most amusing about the contact centers of today? So you would need a mic as well. So imagine you were in 2030 and we're reflecting back, what would you find amusing about the contact centers we are having today?
Sure, it's quite a futuristic question, but not so much, like 5 more years. I think not much will change in terms of the debate around AI versus humans. But I do believe a lot will still be done by humans, because AI still cannot replace the emotions, reason, and logic the way humans can.
Yeah, so through the day we've been talking about how much AI is doing currently, and some things we realize, some things are just happening unconsciously. Going forward, we were looking at one of the presentations and they were saying 80% will get done by the bots and 20% human, but that 20% human definitely depends on the industry. It's very subjective. Let's see how we fare. Moving on to Sandeep ji. You help companies digitalize. So in the current days, which current day matrix do you think will become irrelevant in future?
Is that for me?
Sandeep, yeah.
Okay. There are two Sandeep in the panel.
Digitide.
Okay, I'll probably give it a go. You'll have to repeat your question because I couldn't.
So, in future, which current day customer service matrix may become irrelevant?
One, I'll go back to the initial question that you asked, Vibha. My thought process is very different when it comes to AI. I think it is going to kill contact centers. It's going to kill contact centers. When I say kill contact centers, what I mean is in a midterm, let's say next 1 year, 2 years, what we'll see is that all your basic queries are getting answered by AI. Whether it is in form of a chatbot, it is form of a DIY, or it is in the form of a voice bot. Then there will be an assisted AI, which is helping an advisor to either reduce his average handle time or do work in a more cohesive manner. Now, coming to your question about which KPI will be irrelevant, I think the first KPI which is going to go irrelevant is the average handle time. It will be more an outward in approach where we are looking at an experience. So an agent or an advisor will become an expert to give you not only a resolution, but resolution plus plus, which plus plus can be something which is a predictive query that you can have, which is answered at the first contact itself, right? Which today does not happen because there is too high focus on a handle time, and then the entire game or the gambit remains between how much volume has been attained, which will become irrelevant where most of your basic queries will move out of the equation.
Very interesting. I also had, when I was writing down these questions, I had this thought, what will contact centers be called by then? Will they be contact centers?
I'll probably rename or rebrand them as experience centers. And the companies which can bring in that experience, and the new KPI would be a lifetime value for a customer, or the retention, or the next purchase that the customer is making
The resolution
once
rates, yeah.
he has had that experience with the center.
So retention rates, resolution rates, lifetime value, those are the kind of things that he's talking about.
To me, I think that is the real business sense. Any business survives on the repeat purchase or the lifetime value, and contact center is a cost, right? So if you turn your cost to a revenue model, that okay, if I give you an experience, you're going to stay with me for a longer period of time. That's what the game is.
Yeah. Any other panelists would like to add anything?
I think just to add to what Sandeep was saying, if I look forward looking, we'll probably move from a service to sales module. You get more ROI from the customer, customer becomes more relevant, you get a larger pie of the share as well. I think you'll become from a service to sales model, from a cost center to an income center. That's the way I look at it, yeah.
All right. Gagan, what percentage of the contact volumes are you aspiring to shift on AI in the current scheme of things?
Yeah, good evening, everyone. So again, it's a very tricky, the way I would like to put it is we put the volumes in two cohorts. There are certain volume or certain need which comes, which does not have, which are purely functional. That I need an information, give me the information. I need something to be fulfilled, just fulfill that need. Versus there are some emotive needs. So we come from an insurance industry. So there are emotive needs that what do I do? I have to go to a hospital in this situation, what do I do? So a simple straight answer is wherever it's non-emotive, functional, fulfillment based, we are working that let's reach at least an 80% of diversion to an AI model. We are there, not yet. On emotive, we still are at a point that let's not be on an overdrive right now, where things when it matters the most to talk to a customer, we are routing them to a bot. At least for next 12 months, we don't see moving that cohort to a bot, but broadly that's what the mix is right now.
Yeah, interesting. Sure.
So, just I think you said it very, very rightly. I think the way the distribution today can happen is on the kind of query and the kind of customer. So I'll say easy query, difficult query, vanilla and this. And then I say a literate customer versus a not so literate customer, right? And when I say literate, I mean tech savvy, etc. And there becomes 4 quadrants. So one, there is an easy query and a literate customer. They don't want to talk to you. Right? They want their answers on the instant. See, Uber doesn't even giving a phone number to us. Right? But if you have a complaint to make, you can just do it and move on. Versus what they do with the drivers is completely opposite. There is like humongous big contact centers they have got to cater to that community, because the kind of people are different, or the user base is different, and the quads where they are sitting, and maybe based on the quads is where the company needs to determine which part needs to go to an AI and which part needs to be handled at a human end.
Right.
Just to, apart from AI, me being from the banking, that is something very important, especially when the central, governance perspective. So that is something which I think AI should be leveraged further. It's not only about answering the queries. So currently we are able to help the customers in 7 languages, but still we are not able to completely satisfy within that. So that is something which we are exploring. So that is another factor which we have to look at in terms of customer experience.
Right. So what we're saying is that depending on the organization, depending on the kind of customer needs, depending on where we are on that graph, we need to, as experienced leaders, take a very pragmatic call around our targets in terms of AI, and there needs to be a very clear strategy of what you're doing and the reasons thereof. Right.
To sum it up, I would like to say one thing, that coming from an auto industry, it's a very physical business. Still 70% of our business is physical. And thanks to COVID, when it started moving online, because there is a lot of touch and feel factor where before buying a pre-owned vehicle, the buyer would like to test drive it and check the health of the vehicle, right? So I think whatever happens, but an option to speak to a person would always be there.
True. In hospitality, in like the where you need to experience, likewise Sleepwell mattresses, that's where you're going to spend a lot of your time. So people, we recommend that they actually experience the product before they purchase. There is an option to purchase online, but you've got to respond to different preferences of different customers. Well said. All right. So Venkat, if we were to come to you, if the bot that you have had a persona of a Bollywood star, which one would it be?
Sorry. Can you repeat that, because it's difficult to hear you.
You need to put a little close.
Okay, I'll try to be louder. Sure. So this is a question that I was trying to put to Venkat from City Union. If your organization's bot had a persona of a Bollywood star, then what would it be?
Okay. Well, it's for me. Okay. So it is something going to be very, crazy. Like people will be very interested in reaching out. So it will be very exciting for the customers, definitely. But at the same time, we have to take care of being from a responsible industry and governed industry. So we should not be too much excited about such things, and we need to be acting responsibly in terms of satisfying the customers.
Okay. So do you still want to think of a star who personifies your bot?
Sorry?
Any Bollywood star that can personify your bot?
No, no, no.
No. A simple person. Okay. Right. Okay. Moving on to the section, the core sections. If we talk about the various Vibha, if we talk about various initiatives that you are taking in your organization to put AI at heart of customer experience. You said it's an industry where physical meeting people, touch and feel is really, really important. So what are the key initiatives that you are driving in terms of AI?
Sure. So in Shriram Automall, we are trying to embed AI in every leg of the customer's journey, make it very data-driven, analytical, to ensure faster, fairer, and more transparent solutions and services that we give to our buyers and sellers. So the biggest example for it is an in-house built tool. It's called PriceX, because pricing is the key point for a decision around the buying of a pre-owned vehicle. So we have tied up with Academia, IIT Delhi, to enhance this tool, and it's working with a lot of data analytics, machine learning, and very scientific reasoning to churn millions of data points across the country on already done transactions of various vehicles, and it's throwing up exact and close to the near price point for making a decision before the bidding for the pre-owned vehicle. So this is definitely a revolution in the pre-owned industry. We are trying to monetize this tool in future as well, but right now it is at a very nascent stage, giving good results, and that's how we are trying to solve for our buyers the problem with transparent prices and building trust.
Yeah.
And with sellers, it is becoming very efficient and cost effective and sustainable. And for our partners like banks and NBFCs and OEMs, this is becoming a decision point for resale and repossession and redesigning their operating model. So yes, this is the biggest tool that we are using, where AI is extensively used throughout the customer's journey. I think the challenge is more on the adoption side, because most of the 2-tier, 3-tier cities where we have our buyers and sellers, they are still very used to the traditional methods of negotiating the sales on the ground and physically. So that's where it's a journey that we are trying to cover.
Lovely. Thank you. And any recommendations on how are you shifting that culture and driving discussions in the boardrooms around AI?
Sure. So we are using the power of social media. So on all our platforms across LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. So YouTube is the most vastly used platform. So we've created modules to educate our buyers and sellers how to even use these tools, right? And there's a lot of education, hand-holding happening at our physical centers also to help them move to the online tools.
All right. Next question to Rinku. We would like to hear from you how you are transforming customer experience of your teams to be more intelligent and less artificial.
Yeah, so the way I understand conversational AI is basically it is artificial intelligence which enables computers to understand, interpret, and respond to humans in in a voice or a text in a human understanding language. I think the whole genesis is to make it more, understandable rather than being more artificial and plastic. So traditionally, the bots have been all scripted. There have been algorithms written, and that's how they have been responding. In fact, we had a journey similar to that as well. I think the times have changed. Has to be more nuanced, basis the customer persona, the customer behavior, the customer life cycle, like we from the lending industry, at what stage of the life cycle the customer is. So I think accordingly we have tweaked our models to understand customers better. Throwing you some information in terms of, we initially used those scripted chatbots which were not giving very good results. They would reach to the FAQs, to the APIs, were not giving results. So we moved to Microsoft Azure, and we use ChatGPT as a tool. So this has generated greater traction. For example, our voice bot on the IVR, about 70% of queries are responded by the voice bot. We've also put some signs over there wherever there is some agitation, or there is a reason the customer is escalating, it would directly move to an agent. Okay, and if in the same day the customer is repeating, this would also move to an agent. Similarly, things like, for example, if a customer says that I want to take a loan for a wedding, about a year back it would say, oh, this is the way how to apply for a personal loan. Now today it would say, we are glad to hear that it's an important event in your life. We could assist you through our options available. I think it's more of personalization. How do you, understand the customer better, the persona better? I think that's the game about it. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, just to add, we being a 120-year-old organization in banking, so the personal touch is something banking was adopting for a very long time. So it is not about just technology. So we should also have a personal touch, and the connect that you establish, that makes a lot of difference. So on one side we use the technology, but other side also we need to ensure that the personal touch is maintained with the customer, so that the inclusiveness is continuously maintained, and the trust is continued with the organization.
Sure.
I would like to add to that, and I.
Go ahead.
Thank you. I agree with the Rinku here. So basically, what my thinking about AI is that it is there to empower humans. It empowers us. Though personalization, as we say, there's one example which I would want to give. As we are an affordable housing company, people would call in. Customers would call in, and we would, want them to understand what we have for them. So one customer understood that he was eligible for a loan, and he came across that particular loan opportunity when he did not need it. But after some time, as it was already there, placed in his mind that yes, you are approved, you will be able to get it, he just simply called us and he got the loan, and he thanked us, stating that, I was informed by a bot, by the IVR, as they say, computer, that you are eligible for that. So I think personalization here, it empowers us, helps us to, serve the customers better. And we also would, we also should feel, grateful to AI as well, because first of all, it cannot replace humans.
Just to like to add one thing, and the times have changed. It is more from what you want to tell the customer to more what the customer wants to hear. I think that's the thing we need to move upon. Yeah.
The proactive approach. Yeah. So the proactive approach, it really matters a lot, and because it studies human behavior, it studies behavior. Once you go to a shopping site, you will understand. I have bought something, but next time you will go there. Oh, hi Vibhu, this was something which you were looking for last time. We have an update on this. So, this is how it relates and it behaves, and I completely agree with what he said.
So it's more relationship.
Just to like to add one anecdote here, a lot of us gets calls, the caller will call up and say, sir, do you want a personal loan? I mean, AI can do magic. It's more of a conversational AI. It would understand what the customer wants. Rather than pushing a product, you're kind of engaging the customer, as per the needs of the customer. I think that's the whole magic of AI, and conversational AI is going to work over there. Thank you.
All right, so Sandeep ji.
No, I think I was listening Rinku very carefully. I think till we depend upon these large models, which include ChatGPT, Gemini, Bedrocks, and others, I think we'll always have this contextual problem. I mean, the body of knowledge is very large with these models, as they can handle a lot of words problem, and they can be very contextual.
Correct, correct.
But I think the real answer is the short language model and LLMs. Finally, there are industry-specific models that are emerging, and I think we have to leverage those. We cannot train them on our own data, but we can actually derive from that. You know, think of an oil and gas industry. If I'm in refinery, you can ask me anything. You know, from my throughput to product that I create, what are the perfective maintenance required, where are preventive maintenance required, which downstream is a better product to take to market, what logistic company is good. So if you can just do this conversation on a language model, then the real value of AI will come in. And I think we are taking AI lot into conversation. I think it is way beyond that. You know, look at back office, look at large ability to curate document, vectorize document, get information out. I think that back office we are not looking at. Look at anti-money laundering frauds. Look at risk, so those areas are the real power.
So the opportunities are endless. Now, bringing the thing back, we spoke about how contact centers in future will look like, and so Nikhil, would you like to share your views on if the contact centers are not going to be what they are, they will be experience centers maybe. How are we training our teams to be ready for that challenge? Question for Nikhil.
Nikhil. So I think it's not there.
All right. Anybody who would like to take the So if we are saying the future contact centers will be very, very different to what they are right now, if they become experience centers, what are we doing now? What as CS leaders should we do now to train up our teams to be ready for that change?
I think a lot of this is to the talent transformation. The use of tools in AI is really, really important for everybody. We are a business which is 2/3 BPaaS, BPM, and one-third technology. I think a lot of our technology people need large talent transformation in terms of how do they build the capability. And a lot of agents need to get used to using AI. The future of work is human and AI
training
hybrid.
up our agents to use AI.
Absolutely.
Okay. Any other thoughts? Anybody else?
Yeah, great question, by the way. So what I feel is right now there are different stakeholders which needs different sort of training right now. There are agents, there are team leaders who needs to manage those agents and the bot as agents, and then there is an overall management view who will see whether the agent and team leaders and the contact center strategy as a whole is working or not. I believe right now we are at a point, when I say we, the industry is at a point where we are right now flirting with the idea of how this is helping us. Whenever these discussions happen, we always bring a word of caution that it's not that because a tool is available, we will start using that tool out of the excitement of novelty. But if we have a problem or there is an opportunity to be captured, then let's see how this particular tool fits over there. Going back to the original question that how we are getting ready for usage of this tool is the workforce which is coming in. One, there are two elements which we are bringing in over there. That one is they need to be adaptive to the new technology. If we give them to experiment any new tool, new technology, then they are analytical, or they come back and say, sir, this is how it is working, these things are not working, why didn't you think about this perspective while introducing this tool? So ability to challenge the architecture who is giving them to ask a tool versus just using that tool on a tech domain standpoint. Second is one skill set which AI, no AI, we want them to continuously have is the feeling of empathy. That end of the day, you are serving humans, you are also a human. AI is assisting you to serve those humans. So ensure whenever any design is being built, empathy is not taken out of any model which is getting built over there. So that's for the agents. For the team leaders, it's about looking at the right metric. and the cost benefit of doing that. We all know that so the manpower cost, especially for Indian centers, is much lower than probably for Western or European nations. So whether going that tool and the scale on which we are going, is it benefiting or no? So those are different discussions which happen in that space.
I'll just pick it up from where you left. Gagan, excellent point, first of all. When I start thinking about this, I think I have to, and here I'll be talking to all the audience as well. There were times when we did not have computers, to a time where each one of us in our hand is having a machine which is more powerful than a mainframe of the olden era. There is a big transformation. Today we don't use our phone only for making calls, but we do it for so many more things. Starting from ordering from a Blinkit to come in 10 minutes. It was not even existing out there, right? AI started, you use an amazing word, flirting. We started flirting with this. So I think the flirting with AI happened a couple of decades back. It is just that the speed, the cost has gone down, the speed has increased, which has created multiple models for us to work upon. How we have to be ready, I think each one of people who is sitting in this hall needs to be ready for it, because either it will assist you to become better and become a 10x, or you will become obsolete. I'm using very strong words, but I very firmly believe that it can be used as an asset to increase your productivity by no less than a 10x. I'll give you an example. So I use a personal email on mail.com. Every week there are about 100 emails that I get there. And I know that about 60, 70 of them are not going to be, they're going to be promotional ones, but I need to read, select, then delete. I started using Perplexity's Comet browser, which has agentic abilities. Now, I've been using it for a few days now, and it has the ability for me to give him instruction. It goes through my inbox, clears off all those promotional emails, and how much time it is saving me to, which I was wasting. Now it's over, and the only thing I have to do is work on the emails that really relate to. Then I experimented even more. I said, okay, if it can do this, can it do something else? So I went to another website where there were multiple checkboxes that have to be done. 10 come at a time, and then you go below, and then you start doing it. It did that very, very effectively. And if it can do that, it can do more and more in the coming days. I think it just needs some time for development. Now coming to how do we prepare for this? I think keeping with a very, very open mind that what you learn today is going to be obsolete tomorrow. So you need to keep learning the new things that are coming in. From how to give instructions to a chat GPT, which becomes a basic these days, to using different models like Claude or Leonardo for different things that they can currently execute, is going to be the key differential for everybody sitting here, us, or even the organizations. From an organization, how it can be inculcated, coming back to your question on, it has to start from the boardroom. The discussions have to be how we can encourage our people to do that. One of the way can be a hackathon in the organization, having only AI based goals and projects to be explored. It can also be done by awarding people who are using AI in their regular things or creating projects which are cost saving, better efficiency driven, or more empathetic. I tend to believe that today, if not today, probably a year from now, Cortana, by the way, has already proved that, right, that's another model, that an AI can be a better psychologist to you as compared to a psychologist, because it does not have a bias against you. Second, it can hear everything and still not absorb it, because it is going to behave in certain kind of rules. It's going to be rule based. Maybe we are there, maybe we are not, but it is growing exponentially, so I don't see a reason why it will not be a futuristic goal for us to solve more cases which are lying in the judicial system, or probably helping individuals a pep-up talk when they really need it, when the access to other things are not there.
Sure. So just this is really
This is
interesting.
such an interesting discussion, and I would like to differ there, Sandeep, especially on AI becoming the best or better psychologist, especially in the unfortunate news we all must have heard recently about a teenage committing suicide, and he was discussing the whole situation on AI, right? So it is, and that's where I would like to throw a pertinent point of the nuances around, we have Digital Personal Data Protection Act coming up, and who watches the watcher, right? So Gagan mentioned about we have agents, and then somebody has to watch those agents, and then we have the manager. Now, who watches the watcher, right? So that is always something we all have to be cognizant of and very carefully have the learning capabilities monitored for these AI bots and agents.
Sure. But the question that we were talking about was skills for our team. A very, very strong and key message that is coming out is that we all have to be lifelong learners. We can't be fearing AI, but embracing it, and that is what is important. Very rightly said that this culture needs to be developed, it needs to be celebrated, and on that point, one of the things that I wanted to talk about also was that not all AI experiments or not all AI initiatives are going in the right way. There are, when we put things or take up initiatives, there are things that do go wrong. And I think it is our responsibility also to talk about those failures, because we learn a lot from those failures. So I'll open this up to anybody who would want to share an instance where what you wanted to do, your initiative didn't go as you planned it to go. Anyone? Everybody's been perfect. Wow.
No, I just want to add, as late as yesterday, there is a discussion paper RBI has released. I think my colleagues from the BFSI sector would agree on responsible and ethical artificial, intelligence. While we are using it, it should not abuse or it should not swing the other way. So the discussion paper is out. Even the regulator has put it lens. Understanding all the companies, the regulated entities are using AI as a tool for customer service, sales, business, etc. So I think regulator has taken a stand. So I think all of us will have to put the compliance hat also as we look at AI as a tool to handle customers. Yeah.
Just to add to that, Rinku's small point, I think the explainability part is so important in AI. The bias that it can possibly create. AI turning rogue is a big subject, which is being looked at. It's becoming a boardroom agenda today, that how do you govern AI? What is it that you're doing for the change management within the organization? And how do you make AI ethical? It's a very big, very large conversation. It's a subject that will hit us as soon as adoption go up manifolds. I think that's really, really important. I agree with Rinku.
So RBI has come out with a framework now, draft framework, which is having like 7 pillar directions by which banks has to frame their AI and develop their AI, as he rightly pointed out. So which is circulated now. I think each bank has to formulate a framework and the policy, and based on that, I think now we should be building our AI capability.
Okay.
Yeah, there are, in world over, there are acts like GDPR, there is DATA, and there are more which try to do the just for the customer. There is another part to it, which I call it as a transparent AI. What I mean by that is that if you are speaking to a bot, you need to call out that you are speaking to a bot. If you don't know that you are speaking to a bot, is where there will always be a tussle of what I am ingrained in. Am I speaking to a human or not? And I'm sure that not today, but very soon there will be some regulations coming to it, governing those kind of things where you as a customer has a right to know what are you dealing with. Second, you as a customer has a right to know, which currently exists, is how your data is getting used, what kind of data that we just called out as well. Companies need to be very, very responsible in terms of what they're collecting, how they're collecting, and how they're using it. What I fear is AI in bad hands. While Vibha called out one unfortunate incident, people die with Tesla as well when it is auto driving, but doesn't mean it is driving about 1,000,000 kilometers a day. Makes it one of the safest place to be in. Better than a human driver. So one flaw or probably an incident cannot call out that it is going to be or not going to be the best thing out there. But I completely agree with her when she says that there has to be some way of watching the watcher. And as we are evolving into the next era, we'll have to keep exploring that how we can create that. Very difficult to my mind, how will we be able to close all the loose ends? But yeah, we need to continue to aspire to think how we can do that and then move on.
Well, I think I agree with you on that. And there are many a times when we want to search something on, either ChatGPT or any other bot. There are times, so when open source AIs are there, they are very sensitive towards few or many other topics. If you specifically ask them about, let's say, Area 52, it will not tell you anything about it. If you specifically ask or type in FBI, CIA, it will not tell you about it. So I understand sensitivity is there. I'm sorry, I'm fumbling here. However, when she said someone died or took her or his own life, that's sad. But I think regulations and these things are already there, which actually prevents people to understand or to know, what exactly is going on. They have been informed about things that they want to know, general information available to public, but there are things called as confidential, which remains intact within governments or financial institutions, which is sensitive to them. So I think he's okay, but a bit different view from yourself.
Yeah. Absolutely. I think we agree to disagree on that. And one thing I totally agree with you is that the biasness can come with the kind of data the model is trained upon, right? So when you say that it is not giving you a result on Area 51, what you basically is happening is that it is the Americans who has built that model, right? So if there is another model who is creating that, there will be biasness towards it. So maybe it's time that we start building native models in India itself, so that those kind of biasness is more towards our side than anything else.
Yeah. When they ask about anything from India, they don't know about it. Sorry.
You want to finish that? So I would say at the end, it's also about knowing your customer. What is it that the customers want, right? We all are pressed on time these days. We want efficiency and automation and getting everything done at the click of a button. That's what most of the customers want, irrespective of even in the 2-3 tier cities, right? Especially with the digital stack in India, the way it's moving. But then the ability to customize based on the customer's need, and that's the intelligence where AI comes into play, is what will differentiate the best from the rest.
So when we talk about tier 2 and tier 3 cities, I think that also is a very important consideration that we need to think of to say, how do we design our customer journeys to ensure inclusivity, our language challenge across the country, and any thoughts on how are you managing that, Gagan?
So, okay, like when we earlier discussed, so it's about when any of the solutions or any of the problems which we are building, we have to see what are we solving or building something for. Is it for a particular ethnicity? Is it for a certain age group? Is it something which all age bands will use? So that's the first question on which high degree of clarity. Like earlier when you asked that what things have failed, and I was just doing some reflection. I think when we did not design it for the right customer and thought that the customer knows this, and gave certain functionalities, those are some of the bad decisions which at least I have seen in my career. So it's on inclusivity front, the core principle which we follow at least are principle of accessibility. That whatever we build needs to be accessible to your target population. We cannot put things in incognito where it becomes extremely difficult for the target customer to access it. Just small example that if we are building an app, then giving modes like, and senior citizens, super senior citizens are customers who have, by the way, now started using WhatsApp, started using Facebook, and become comfortable with it. So giving them magnifier sort of option when you're giving it and making it easy for them. Don't expose them to chatbots, but giving them WhatsApp and then embed your chatbots within them. So having all those design principles while building something for senior citizens becomes like one of the principles when we are doing. So accessibility one. Second is having multi-channel approach. So if the customers, there are certain customers who want to use only voice, they get that option. There are customers who use text. They now, especially with Gen Z and a lot of new age customers, they don't want to talk to the company. That's another problem. So if you want to pitch, talk, but there are less communication channels open with them. So to them, it's more of text, instant responses, app, gamification of app. So those kind of things are some of the sticky factors. Third, most important is we continue to have the feedback loop. So NPS, CSAT, 5-star, any customer listening program that an organization has, continue to listen to the customers. For example, we get vernacular language responses sometimes to our English survey. So we know now we need to change the language preference for those particular customers. So these are some few examples which helps us build some sort of inclusivity.
Great. Any other thoughts anyone would like to add?
Maybe I can quote one interesting incident. So with AI model built for cross-selling to the customers, so we could find a customer with a good net worth, and finally we sold the credit card to him. So we were so proud that we got a good customer. But when we met him and handed over the card, we realized that he's a different profile customer who visits Wimbledon every year, and he makes a lot of overseas trip. So we could have sold a better product rather than a credit card. So this is something, again, the personal interaction and the AI model which I want to share.
Yeah, and I agree with him. He said, so there's one thing which is, with me it happens a lot. I do get irritated a lot when it comes to, IVRs, telling us what to do, So, as he said, literate, illiterate, and, illiterate is not tech savvy. So they might not get irritated with it. Literate or tech savvy people, they will get irritated with it a lot. I do get it. However, it's for the best of us to understand that, the AI, the bots, the IVRs, it's there for a reason. And
And they're there to stay.
Exactly, and for literate and for illiterate, it doesn't matter savvy or not savvy. So, yeah, I wanted to come on to this point. I'm sorry, I'm diverting from the topic here.
No worries. So what's coming through is this debate will go on. Humans are irreplaceable, but there is a lot of conversation that will move on to AI. It's important as leaders for us to train up our teams, think about it, reflect on it in terms of how do we make them more future ready, work with the leadership team, drive that culture of introducing new things, driving AI projects, and also accepting that if things go wrong, it's fine. We will learn through that. That will happen as well. We've got to be lifelong learners ourselves. When we continue to learn, we'll be good role models for our team members. And thinking through that audience requirement, what the customer needs, designing your journeys around your customer needs, and ensuring that we are inclusive to them. These are things that we should all keep in mind when we are working with AI and improving our customer experience. It's been really, really nice to have a conversation, and it's even more wonderful when we have conflicting views. So thank you all for that.
Thank you. Thank you very much to our panelists and moderator for such an engaging panel discussion. I would now like to request Mr. Subodh Nair, Head Enterprise Sales India Devrev, to kindly join us on the stage, and please felicitate our panelists and the moderator. May I request you, sir, to kindly felicitate Vibha Sarin Prabhakar, Chief Experience Officer, Shriram Automall. Let's have a big round of applause, everyone. Requesting you, sir, to kindly felicitate Vivek Madan, CTO and Operations, Hero Housing Finance. A round of applause, everyone. Requesting you to kindly felicitate Mr. Gagandeep Singh, SVP and Head CX Niva Bupa Health Insurance. Kindly felicitate Mr. V. Venkatasubramanian, DGM, IT City Union Bank. Would like to request you to kindly felicitate Mr. Rinku Anand, Head CX Bajaj Finserv. I would like to request you to kindly felicitate Mr. Sandeep Malhotra, Chief Strategy, Solutions and AI Officer, Digitide. Kindly felicitate Mr. Sandeep Sachdeva, Customer Seller and Experience Head from Snapdeal. It's time for a group picture, sir. Let's have a group picture. Please rise from your seats. I would also like to request to kindly felicitate our moderator, Meetu Arora, VP Customer Care, Sleepwell Group. All right, so let's have a group picture. Kindly join for the group picture, please.